Carlson here, the Body Image Builder. And you are at the power of meditation. Om. Now, a little bit about me, Jenny Carlson, the Body Image Builder. I have been meditating, that I knew about, I'm going to air quotes, meditating for about 12 years. I got postpartum depression and started researching natural ways to heal that, and it led me to yoga. And yoga has taught me so many life goals that I'm so excited about, and meditation was one of them. It really helped me find that inner peace that I was looking for. So I've been meditating for at least 12 years, and I've been researching. I got certified to teach yoga. I've been teaching meditation, and I absolutely love the effects that it has on me personally, body, mind, and spirit, and the effects that it's had on my clients. You know, when I take them through a meditation, their change in their physical countenance is physically different from when we started the meditation to when we ended. In fact, I had a client say that on her goal for that day that she wanted to accomplish, so she wanted to lose like 100 pounds. I was like, I will do my best. And when we were done, I took her through this meditation, and she goes, oh my gosh, I feel 1,000 pounds lighter. You above and beyond went what I thought my goal was. Where I thought I needed to lose 100 pounds of physical weight, I had no idea I was carrying 1,000 pounds of this emotional weight. So meditation is powerful to help start to change your physical body. What we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about the who, what, when, where, why, and how of meditation. We're going to try and cover it all as much as we can in the short period of time that we have together. Okay, so what is meditation? What is it? So I looked it up because I'm like, what is meditation? Like, how do you describe meditation? So according to the World Wide Web, Wikipedia, meditation is defined as the practice of meditating. Oh, that's not very helpful. Okay, so what is meditate? So meditate is to think deeply or focus one's mind for a period of time in silence or with the aid of chanting for religious or spiritual purposes or as a method of relaxation. So that's a really broad definition. And it actually kind of really made me happy. There's a huge key there that I want to point out in that definition of meditate, where you focus one's mind for a period of time. Okay, so we're going to do a little experiment here. Okay, so I want you to sit tall in your chair. I want you to plant your feet, and I want you to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Guess what? You just meditated. What? You totally just meditated. It was for a period of time. Okay, it may have been, I think it was maybe 2 seconds, but you still meditated. So that counts. You can go, check, meditated today, pat yourself on the back. Yeah, I totally meditated today. It doesn't say in here that it has to be an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours. It doesn't say it has to be 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Just a period of time. Well, 1 second is a period of time. Think about that for a second. It's all about your perception, how you perceive, right? Our expectations that we have. What is your definition of meditation? How do you define meditation? Hopefully by the end of this, you'll be able to answer that for you. So that when somebody comes to you and is like, I've been kind of thinking about doing this meditating thing, but I'm unsure, you can go, oh my gosh, well, can I tell you what meditation means to me? And then you can go ahead and share with them, and it's going to be awesome. Okay, so that's technically what meditation is. Now, I like these air quotes because, really, what did you think meditation was? What did meditation mean to you? When you think of someone's meditating, do you think cross-legged, sitting up tall and, and that's why I did that at the beginning of this session, because I think it's funny. Like, that's what most people think. It's a perception, right, of what we think, and an expectation of what we think. So let's talk about different types of meditation. When I searched for different types of meditation, I was blown away. I started writing down all the different meditations that I teach and the ones that I've practiced, and I started to get this huge list. So let me just read you 10 different ways or types of meditation. So there's transcendental meditation, there's chanting, there's visualization, there's Zen meditation, there's mindfulness meditation, primordial sound, there's yoga, there's loving kindness, there's chakra meditation, and there's single pointed focus meditation. Now you could take any single one of these. In fact, let's just, for example, take yoga meditation. Okay, well, yoga alone, do you even know how many different kinds of yoga there is out there? Now, yoga is kind of a moving meditation, right? Because you're moving from warrior pose to chair pose to plank pose, and you're breathing and you kind of get focused that way. So it's kind of a moving meditation, but then also you sit at the beginning and you set your intention. So that's a type of meditation. Then there's Shavasana, where you lay and take a nap, and you are sometimes guided through a meditation, or it's silent. Sometimes there's music. Sometimes there's chanting. There's so many different kinds of meditation. In fact, I would probably be as bold to claim here and now that as many people as there are in the world, there's that many types of meditation times that many people. There's that many different variations because you are unique. And the way you think, the way you feel, the way you move is unique and different from everybody else. So even if we were all to sit in a room, say that there's 50 of us sitting in a room, and I were to guide you through a meditation, there would still be 50 different meditations going on because it's so different up here. Everybody's up here is totally different. So use that as knowledge to be okay with how your meditation goes. And instead of going, am I doing it right? Does it look right? Whatever you're doing is going to be great. In fact, I always like to say that the only bad meditation is the one that you didn't do. Because you're not practicing. Meditation is a practice, and it evolves. It continues to expand and contract and move and morph and transform. It's this ever-evolving thing, just like our brain, just like our bodies, just like our life is meant to evolve and form and move and shape itself into what we are meant to be, this beautiful becoming. All right, so why would we want to meditate? Well, let's go into science mode for a minute. And I feel like I should put on my safety goggles. Science. So let's talk about what meditation actually does for us. All right, so I'm going to draw a brain for us, okay? Okay, there's our brain. Isn't it beautiful? So beautiful. Now, inside our brain, we have all this gray matter. I'm going to squiggly, gray matter. Now, in our brain, we have this thing that's called the default mode network, DMN. DMN. Now, the default mode network is kind of placed all over the brain. It's where all parts of the brain come together and work together. Now, when we are in our default mode, we're kind of like on autopilot, right? We're just going through life and doing things, and the brain is kind of free to think because we're not focused on something. And whatever task you're doing doesn't require a lot of focus. So there's a whole bunch of different parts of the brain that are working here. Now, this part, when we're in default mode network, I call it squirrel, because you're going to have these thoughts where it's like you're thinking about what you need to do tomorrow, and then you're thinking about what happened last year, and then you're thinking about what you're doing, and then it's like, oh, I got to call this person, and you just kind of go from here to here, and there's not really any connection of what you're thinking about. It just kind of starts to happen. So when you are meditating, this default mode becomes less and less. You stop wandering as much. You can become a little bit more focused on what you're doing. And when you do recognize that you've taken that squirrel train way over here, you can snap back a lot faster to the present moment. So this default mode network very rarely is in the present moment. It's typically in the past or in the future, and you're just kind of in all around circles, imagination land. So meditation helps the default mode network to snap back to present a lot faster, and you wander a lot less. Now, anxiety and depression all decrease, and pain, they decrease. They have estimated, they have measured, tested that when you meditate frequently, that the pain, anxiety, and depression levels decreased 0.3%. Now, I know that doesn't seem like, whoa, huge, amazing amounts. However, they have measured that that is the same amount that antidepressants help with reducing anxiety, pain, and depression. So it's the same. It also improves your memory, it improves your focus, and it improves your emotional response. So emotional response, think kids are freaking out and you go and freak out with them. Now, as you start meditating, kids start freaking out and you kind of go, kids are freaking out. I should probably help out. Right? And maybe it's not always like that, but it starts to get better and better, right? Just like the default mode network, it snaps back a lot faster. We increase that ability the more we meditate. Now, the reason why that happens is because inside our brain, this gray matter, our brains actually change physically with meditation. So we have this cool little thing called the hippocampus. Anatomically correct, I'm sure. We have the hippocampus, and the hippocampus is our focus, it is our memory, and it is our emotional response, it's our emotional output. Now we also have our amygdala, right there, your amygdala. Now the amygdala is the part where we feel fear and stress and anxiety. And so when we meditate, science has proven that the hippocampus, where we have focus and memory and emotional response, actually grows thicker. It becomes bigger. So let's do the walls bigger here. It gets bigger, thicker. And as we meditate, the amygdala starts to shrink. It gets smaller. So we feel less fear, we feel less anxiety, we feel less of those things. So let's give that a little plastic surgery there. So it's physically changing our brain. It's almost like a workout for your brain. Building your mindfulness muscle. Just like when you lift a weight here, your bicep gets bigger and bigger every time you do it. Same with our brain. Meditation is just like working out for your brain. And you get bigger muscles. And they get bigger. And then you can do heavier weights. You can meditate for longer periods of time. You can do a tougher meditation, right? So you're building your mindfulness muscle. Physically, your brain is changing. You're getting a stronger hippocampus, so you're building muscle in your memory and in your focus and in your emotional response. You're building, you're strengthening, and you're losing weight. You're slimming down in your amygdala, where you feel fear and anxiety and stress. Sounds good, right? It's awesome. We've talked about enlightening the mind, and we've talked about fueling the body, right? So we're lifting weights, we're getting stronger, we're meditating, we're practicing, so we're mentally becoming more awake, more enlightened, and then we can fuel our body better. But how does this awaken our soul? Where does the spirit come into play here? So let's kind of talk about how meditation affects us energetically. I went to a Thanksgiving yoga class once, and I walked in the studio, and it was 92 degrees inside. Whew! It was hot already, and I hadn't even started moving. Now, this was an advanced practice, so it was a very quick-paced flow with some really hard movements, and I knew that I was going to be sweating like crazy. And as we got started, I was just like, oh, it was almost hard to breathe because it was starting to get a little stuffy. And I was kind of looking around, is anybody else struggling with this? And did I have enough water? Did I hydrate enough? Am I going to be okay? And then as we got moving, I stopped focusing out on the other people and I started just going, okay, breathe in, move, breathe out, move, breathe in, move, breathe out, move. And it became this fluid flow of movement that was beautiful. And I would get sweat and I would just wipe it away. And it was sweat and I would just wipe it away. And it just became, that whole dance analogy. It just became part of this dance for me. And then at the end, I didn't even worry about the movement. I was just being, and it was perfect. There was, at the very end, we did this kirtan yoga where there was a musician at the front and she would play her drums and her guitar and she had a didgeridoo and she would call to us this phrase and then we would call it back to her. And then she'd call to us and we'd call back and it was this beautiful give and take. And all of these different people in the room, these different bodies, these different voices would come together and just give and receive and give and receive. And tears were streaming down my eyes. And I just felt this amazing sense of being that was amazing. Oh, it was just, I know I said amazing, but I don't know what other word to describe it. But this is kind of how meditation helps us awaken our soul. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This kind of comes into play here. So if you're familiar with it, there's 5 sections. Now, the bottom section is just kind of our physiological needs, okay? These are our needs. Food, water, shelter. That's all that comes in there. Now, the second rung up is safety and security. Do we have good health, or do we have employment, family, social, economic stability? So let's put safety in here. Now, the next one up is love and belonging. Friendship, family, intimacy, a sense of connection to other people. So I'm going to put connection. And then we go up into self-esteem, confidence, achievement, respect of others, the need to be a unique individual. Down here, it's like we need to be connected. And then up here, it's like, hey, how am I different? Confidence. And then up here, top level is self-actualization. So this is where creativity happens, spontaneity, acceptance of yourself and others, no matter where they are. Inner potential, purpose, meaning. So I'm going to call this one being. Being. So all in this yoga class, I felt these. I started out with, man, do I have enough water? Am I going to survive this hot class? And then I kind of looked around and made sure that, okay, we all have our space. We all, everything's going to be okay. We were safe. Even though it was hot, it was okay. We're going to push ourselves. And then there was this connection, especially when we started singing, this connection. I mean, even when we started that flow, it was like we were all breathing together and moving together. And we expand and contract, and we became almost a single unit. And then there was this confidence that was built out of that community, that sense of connection with each other. It was like, hey, we are doing so good. I feel safe to be myself. I feel safe to kind of stick out. And, some people were singing, the high notes, and it was like, can I find the harmony? If you know me, I'm not a soprano, I'm an alto. And singing that harmony is sometimes hard for me, but it's like, I felt so safe because we were all so united that it's like, hey, I'm going to try it. And a couple times I went a little flat or a little sharp, but it was okay because I felt that connection. I felt safe. My needs had been met. These all build upon each other. And then eventually at the end, it was like it didn't even matter if I was in tune or not because we were just being. And it was beautiful. It was all accepted. This is what meditation does for you. Meditation helps you shift in these perceptions. Shift to see where our needs are met. Shift and see where we are safe and secure. Shift and feel that love and belonging doesn't necessarily always have to come from somebody else praising you and building you up, that it can come from inside. That you can pat yourself on the back and everybody else can be pointing at you like, you're not good enough, you're never going to be good enough. And it's okay because I'm doing a good job. You're shifting. You're moving that level of consciousness, creative, soulful consciousness, up to become self-actualized, where you become who you are meant to be, and it is exactly perfect, just the way it is. You accept yourself, and you accept everybody else along their journey where they are. There's no criticism, there's no finger pointing, because everything is perfect, just the way it is. This is self-actualization. That is how meditation helps to awaken the soul. So now we've talked about kind of what it is, why we need to do it physically, as well as spiritually, energetically. So let's talk about how to meditate. And as I mentioned before, there are a lot of different types of meditation. So we've already knocked one out of the way. We did a 1 second meditation. Want to do it again? Ready to go. Good job. You just meditated twice now. Okay, so we're gonna level up a little bit here. Okay, we've lifted. We've practiced just by lifting air, right? We're doing a bicep and we don't really have any weight in there. But we're practicing the movement. So it helps build the muscle and it helps send memory up into the brain. Oh, when we do this, this muscle contracts, and as this muscle contracts, we start to build. So let's start to build. Let's add a little weight to our meditation. We're going to do a 1 minute meditation. Now here's the rules. Are you ready for the rules of meditation? There are no rules. What? This doesn't even make any sense. This life is crazy. She's talking crazy. It's okay. For 1 minute, we're going to sit, and then we're going to talk afterwards. Ready? Go. Stop. All right, take another deep breath. Whew, holy cow. Was that the longest minute you've ever experienced? So I want you to just take a minute and think, okay, what were some of the thoughts that I had? Where did my thoughts go? What was happening in my mind? Now for me, it was like, okay, what time did we stop on? When do I need to tell them? Should I be closing my eyes? Am I breathing? Am I breathing deep? What are they thinking? Are they looking at me? Does this look weird? Those are some of the thoughts that I had while meditating. Now, if I had attached to any of those thoughts, I probably would have been really worried and like looking at myself and going, okay, am I okay? Am I like okay? Or I would have closed my eyes and then looked and then closed my eyes and then looked. I would, oh, what was the time? What was the time? I would have been freaking out. But it was like, oh, everything's okay. Everything's okay. Everything's okay. It's just a minute. It's just a minute. Everything's going to be okay. Holy cow. There aren't really rules to meditation. However, there are some guidelines. And you can take these and go, yeah, I really love this. This works for me. Or you can go, this doesn't really work for me, so I'm going to pass. Right? I mean, I was talking about Thanksgiving earlier. Now, when you sit down to a Thanksgiving feast at your family, do you eat every single thing that comes your way? Or do you really not like the pecan pie or the mincemeat, or you don't like the corn or potatoes or something, and but you take what you like and you pass what you don't. Like, oh, no, thank you, pass it on. And oh, thank you, pass it on. Oh, yeah, I'll take 2 servings of that. Thank you. And then pass that on. Or, yeah, I'm just going to keep this right here. Right? And that's how the guidelines are. If they work for you, awesome. If not, just pass them on. Not right, not wrong, not good, not bad, just what is. Now, that's one of the guidelines for meditation. Acceptance. Acceptance. We just accept. Okay? Now, just like if you were to look up in the sky in the clouds and you'd see all these clouds coming and going, the clouds are neither good nor bad. They just are clouds. Some of them come and whoosh, they go really fast. Some of them stay, and some of them even drop stuff like rain or snow or hail, right? And some of those stay for a really long time, and sometimes they just kind of little flutters. They just drizzle down. It's not good or bad, it just is. There's just a cloud and there's just a little rain, or it's just a cloud and there's some thunder or lightning. It's just a cloud and there's a lot of snow, or there's just a lot of wind, right? There's no right or wrong. There's no good or bad. You can't control the clouds. So what's the point in going, cloud, stay, or cloud, get out of here, go, get out of here, go. You can't control the clouds. They come, they go, some stay longer, some don't, some leave things behind, some take everything with them when we want them to leave stuff, right? So that's the next guideline, non-attachment. So we accept that they are there. There are clouds. We can't change that fact. They are clouds. We can't change it. We just accept it. And non-attachment, that's the one we were going for. Non-attachment. When you attach to the clouds, when you attach yourself to, okay, I'm a really happy person when there's big fluffy clouds. And when there's no clouds, I'm really sad. You feel out of control when that happens, because these clouds are going to come and go when you have no control over them. You can't attach yourself to these clouds. You can't attach your value, your worth to these clouds. Same with our thoughts. You can't go, oh my gosh, I have these thoughts, I must be a terrible person. Or when I think like this, I'm a good person. But we don't always think that way, because these thoughts come and sometimes they go bam and they just sit like a bomb and just snow or hail on us. And it's like, oh, what am I supposed to do here? And we go, oh, we just recognize it's hailing today. I am having major words rain down on me today. Okay, let's hear it. Let's be here for it. Let's experience it. And don't attach yourself that I'm a bad person, or it's a bad day because of it, right? Let go of that attachment, because it's the attachment to that causes the suffering and pain. Since you can't control the clouds, since you can't control the thoughts completely, we can practice choosing new thoughts, but we can't always control thoughts that come into us. We let go of the attachment to it. Go, wow, that was a really interesting thought. Okay, and we let it go, just like the clouds. They come and go. So the next thing is non-judgment. Non-judgment. Those rain clouds are neither good nor bad. In fact, it depends on the person, right? If you're in a drought, rain clouds are a godsend. It's a miracle. Now, if you're flooding and it's still raining, it's awful. You don't want it anymore. So it's not the rain cloud, it's not the rain that's the issue. It's your circumstances and it's your thoughts, your attachments to them, and the judgment that you place on them. So these thoughts are neither right or wrong. It's when you attach yourself to them and then you start to take that action based on that attachment. That's when things start to move. So we have acceptance, we have non-attachment, we have non-judgment. Should we talk about forgiveness? The F-bomb. Now, forgiveness is a huge tool to have in your pocket for life in general. We're humans, we make mistakes. Having this in your back pocket is going to save you so much. Let's go back to my dance analogy. Let's say I'm in the middle of my routine and I'm doing a turn and I fall out of my turn and I stumble and I knock over my partner. And then my partner falls out of their turn and they stumble and it just becomes this domino effect. I messed up. And I made everybody else mess up. But we can get back in place, we can restart the music, and we can do it again. We can practice again. Now, what happens if that happens during competition? Does that mean it's the end of the world? I stumble, my partner stumbles, it means we don't take home first place. Does that mean I'm a bad person? Does that mean that I don't deserve to live? Does that mean I don't deserve nice things? No, it just means that I made a mistake when people were watching. And we move right on. Next year, like 10 years from now, is that mistake even going to matter? No, it's not. The only bad meditation is the one you don't do. So when you go in meditation and you're like, okay, I'm going to be really good. I'm just going to focus. I'm going to do that single pointed focus where I just focus on my breath, right? There's a meditation where you're just focusing on the inhale and the exhale. And you start thinking about all your to-do list. You start thinking about what happened last year at the Christmas party. You start thinking about how your parents are going to handle, or your kids, or what. Back to my breath. Back to my breath. Or you fall asleep. How many of you have ever meditated and fallen asleep while meditating? I have! Who hasn't? If you're meditating and you're trying to do it for a long period of time, your eyes are closed, you sometimes fall asleep, and that's okay. Forgive yourself, because you're still lifting the weight. You're still doing the work, even if you dropped it. You still did more than if you just went right to bed. So forgive yourself, and those thoughts that come and you attach to them or you judge them, it's okay. Forgive yourself. In fact, that's where the muscle building really starts to happen. That DMN, that default mode network, whenever you catch yourself doing any of these where you're not accepting, nope, I'm not going to accept this cloud is here. This cloud, I'm just going to pretend it's not there. I'm going to block it out. It doesn't exist. Or when you attach to it, oh my gosh, there's this cloud here, and I'm such a terrible person because look, I'm causing it to rain all over these people. Whenever you attach to something, whenever you judge that rain cloud, well, that's a stupid rain cloud. Why is that thing here? That's just dumb. That's wrong. It shouldn't be here. That's wrong. Whenever you find yourself doing these things, forgive. When you catch it and go, wait, no, it's just a rain cloud. Wait, no, it's not good or bad. It just is a rain cloud. No, it's just a thought. It's just a thought. Whenever you catch yourself doing that, that's like you lifted 1,000 pounds. Woo! Baby, that's getting strong. Every time you catch yourself and you bring yourself back to, nope, I'm not doing that. We start to build that mindfulness muscle. The hippocampus starts to grow stronger. Our memory increases, our focus increases, our emotional response is a lot faster. And the fear, the stress, the anxiety, all the amygdala starts to shrink down. That's when the magic happens. So when you catch yourself out in these la-la land, don't get upset with yourself. Instead, thank yourself, because it's like, oh, I caught it. I just lifted a muscle. I'm getting better. I'm getting stronger. This is awesome. Yay! You caught it. So good job. Pat yourself on the back. That is the most important one. Okay, so some tools for your own home meditation practice. Start small. Start somewhere. Start with a little minute meditation every couple of hours. Like on my phone alarm, I have a little alarm on my phone, and for a while, I did it every 30 minutes. I would have my alarm go off every 30 minutes, and I would just sit for a minute. And breathe. And focus on my breath and being present. And that was awesome. You don't have to do it every 30 minutes. That was a part in my journey where I was trying to be more mindful throughout the whole day. But start with, okay, in the morning, I'm going to have a full minute where I'm just completely present. And then before I go to bed, I'm going to have a full minute. Then move it up to 3 minutes. Then do 5 minutes. Then work towards 7. Who says you have to jump from 5 to 10? I mean, there's all these other numbers in between there. Just practice. Practice, practice, practice. And every time you practice, forgiveness. Oh, I'm judging again. Oh my gosh, I totally attached myself to that. Whoa, baby. I did not accept that thought. It's okay. And we're back. Yay! So start small and build your practice. Schedule it in somehow. Find a way every day that you can do it at the same time. Maybe you wake up at the same time every day and you can do it then. Maybe you go to bed at the same time every day, you can do it then. Maybe you take your lunch break at the same time every day. Or, and be flexible, right? There's this whole forgiveness thing in there. Like if something happens, don't like, oh, stupid, stupid, stupid. These are tools that I'm giving you to help you build yourself up and build your practice up, not tools to beat yourself down. So go, okay, oops. And I had a lunch meeting. I normally do my meditation. It's okay. Before I leave for work, I can sneak one in my car. Or I can do it right before bed. Or I can just do a whole bunch of mini meditations to make up for it. Whatever works. And just remember, it's a practice. There is no meditation Olympics. There is no competition. There is no wrong way to do a meditation. In fact, you can't sit in meditation and cause harm to your brain. You just can't. Because you are intentionally sitting down to focus on something, to be more mindful, to be more present, to relax, whatever your intention is, you have that and you're sitting down to do that. And that's going to naturally build your muscle, your mindfulness muscle. Set an intention every time before you meditate. What would you like to feel? What would you like to embody? What do you want to think about? What do you want to focus on? You can do guided meditations where you go through all these fun journeys. You can do a single pointed meditation. The little flame on a candle, how it flickers, you can just sit there and stare at it. Sitting in nature, watching the clouds. Now that we've been using the clouds, but watching the clouds go by, watching the birds flitter by, watching the ants in their line as they build their home. All forms of meditation. Movement meditation. Exercise is a fabulous form of meditation. There's music, you can sing, you can chant, you can find a mantra. So a mantra, find your own. What is a word or phrase that empowers you? It doesn't have to be Sanskrit. It doesn't have to be Om Shanti Om. It can be love. It can be joy. I am happy. I am at peace. You can visualize a shape, a picture of someone you love, a beautiful flower. Those are all awesome, acceptable things. So I would play with them. And I would take one and I would practice it for a week and see how it feels for you. Is it a fit? Just like our clothes. Some clothes fit us better and some clothes don't. The mashed potatoes, do you scoop the mashed potatoes on your plate or do you pass on the mashed potatoes? You don't know until you try them, right? So try it for a while, try it on for size, see how it fits, and then sit it on a shelf. And maybe you'll find yourself coming back to it at a later date and going, you know what, I think my taste buds changed. Now I do like pecan pie. And then you eat pecan pie. You use this meditation, that ever-evolving, transforming, contracting, expanding being that we are is going to change, and we're going to need different things to help us. Find programs, find teachers, find someone to help you that knows how to meditate. Ask them. Google, YouTube. There are all these resources out there where you can learn different ways and programs and practice, but you have to start somewhere. You just have to start. Blissful Body Meditation is one of the courses I created because a lot of people don't know where to start. Now this has 7 different meditations. It's a full hour of meditation if you combine all 7 of them together. And I linked it with binaural beats. And it helps take your brain from that alpha phase where we're conscious and moving around down into our deep, into your subconscious while you're conscious. So you're like healing at this super conscious level. Is that awesome? It's so cool. These meditations are different types of meditation. They're different ways that you can meditate on your own. I help you learn how to ground and connect and shield, protect yourself from negative energy and clean out the negative energy that you have in you. I found other courses like this, similar to this. It was hard to find one exactly like this with the binaural beats and the whole course where it takes you in the past and future and being present and how to create. So the closest thing I could find was $129. So this course I sell for only $79. But during the course of the summit, you can get this course for only $35. Using the code Lifeline. The summit is Lifeline. So during the summit, you can get this for $35. And I would suggest finding a meditation course that works for you. Something that you love. The testimonials that I've had for this is guided meditation is very helpful in keeping my thoughts on topic. I love my meditations with Jenny. That was Regan. Coeur d'Alene says, I love how Jenny makes things informative and fun. Jennifer says, I love how amazing I felt after. I felt stronger physically and emotionally and so uplifted. And that was my goal here, is to help you learn how to enlighten, uplift, and inspire yourself through meditation. Find a meditation that works for you and practice it. Practice daily and forgive yourself, because we're all just here to learn. We're all here practicing and doing the best we can. And you are doing a phenomenal job. Give yourself credit. I'm Jenny Carlson, the Body Image Builder. Have a fabulous day. Namaste.